Hello everyone. Today we will watch a short retelling of the film Platform. A man named Goring wakes up in a concrete cell on the 48th floor. His cellmate, Tremagasai, explains to him that he is in an experimental structure built in the form of a tower with a shaft running through the center, through which a platform with food passes every day. It is not known how many floors there are in this mine, but definitely more than 132. Tremagasai was on it. The prisoners of the lower tiers of the prison get the food left after the meal of people from the previous levels. On each floor there is a cell with 2 prisoners, and at the end of the month the surviving prisoners are randomly moved to another level. Before arriving at the prison, prisoners can take with them one item of their choice. Goring chose the book Don Quixote, and his cellmate, Tremagasai, knife. In a month, they get acquainted, become friends, revealing to each other the details of their lives. It turns out that Goring went here voluntarily to obtain some kind of certificate, while Tremagasai was sent for manslaughter. Tremagasai says that during his stay in this place, he found himself on floors of different heights, and at least once, on the 132nd, where food does not reach. Goring suspects that Tremagasai killed and ate his neighbor. One day a murdered man falls from above, and a few days later a bloody woman named Miharu descends on a platform with food, who, according to Tremagasai, is looking for her child on the lower levels. Every month Miharu goes down, before killing his neighbor. It is quite possible that the deceased person. Her handiwork. Now Tremagasai supplements the story of his survival with details. He did not kill his cellmate. The corpse of an unknown man fell from above while the platform was on their floor, which is why Tremagasai managed to survive, and his partner simply completed the contract for the duration of his stay in this place. A month later, the heroes are put to sleep with gas and moved to other levels. Goring wakes up bound. Tremagasai explains to him that they are at a very bad 171st level, where even crumbs of food do not reach, and therefore he will keep Goring as his snail, after which Tremagasai will have to cut off pieces from Goring for the sake of their survival. A week later, Tremagasai takes up the knife, but then Miharu comes to the aid of Goring. She was just going down. Goring is left alone with the corpse of a former neighbor and he has to eat it for survival. At the same time, Tremagasai constantly appears nearby in the form of a hallucination, proving that their actions, that is, murder and cannibalism, are now the same. So another month passes. Now Goring is recovering, on a good 33rd floor, and his neighbor and Mogairai. As a permitted item, she took a dog with her. Goring recognizes her. She was an employee of this research center, and it was she who conducted the interview. And Maguire tells that she is terminally ill with cancer, and that she came of her own free will and chose Goring as her partner, since only he took a book with him here. She also talks about the structure of the tower. There are 200 floors in total, and if people distributed food correctly, there would be enough for everyone. And Mogairai decides to alternate his portion of food with his dog, and also tries to tell people from below, urging them to create portions of the same volume for themselves and divide the food evenly. She is sure that spontaneous solidarity should arise one day, and that is what is being studied with the help of the platform. The words and Mogairai are ignored and ridiculed until Goring shouts at those below, threatening to defecate on food if they don't listen. One day, Miharu comes down from above again. She kills the dog and Mogairai and eats her. Goring tries to explain that Miharu is doing this for the sake of the child, but Mogairai also claims that there is no one under the age of 16 in the tower and that Miharu did not have any child. She entered the tower with a ukulele, being a budding actress, and that all this does not fit with the image of a serial killer. A month later, the heroes are moved. Goring wakes up on the 202nd floor. This is lower than Mogairai also assumed, confident that there are only 200 floors. Mogairai herself commits suicide, and her hallucination now also haunts Goring, urging him to eat her body, because for this she committed suicide. This month, Goring spends in delirium and eats his book. A month later, Goring is moved again, this time he wakes up, on the 6th floor. His partner is Baharad, who is trying to get up and get to the ground floor, and his subject. The rope. At first it seems that those living on the floor above want to help him, but in fact they mock him. Baharad almost falls into the hole and loses his rope. Goring persuades him to arm himself and go down on the platform, at the same time distributing all the food for people below the 50th level, because people above and so eat every day. According to his calculations, there are about 250 floors in the tower, as he calculated the time of movement of the platform and its stop. Having broken the iron frames of the beds, the Allies receive improvised batons as weapons and begin to move down on the platform. Along the way, they encounter misunderstandings. For example, one of the people is outraged, because he himself spent a month on the 100th level, and now has the right to a sufficient amount of food. The heroes try to convey their message to people, but the lower they go down, the more cruelly they have to behave. People don't listen and pounce on the food. There is also too little food, even taking into account the missed 50 floors. During their way down, they protect the dessert they want to send up as a message. On one of the floors they find corpses, perhaps it was here that Miharu woke up. It turns out that the platform does not stop at the floors with the dead, which means that there may be even more floors than Goring initially assumed when calculating the stops. On the floor below, they encounter armed men who kill Miharu. Goring and Baharad engage them in battle and win, however, they themselves receive fatal wounds. Now the heroes have nothing to lose, they decide to go down to the bottom, and on the 333rd floor, under the bed, they notice a child Mihara, a girl of about 5. Despite the fact that they need dessert, they feed the baby with it. They decide that the message will be the girl herself. Goring leaves the deceased Bahara and, together with the girl, descends to the very bottom, to the uninhabited level. Here the finale becomes metaphorical. The hallucination of Trimagasi takes Goring off the platform, and the platform itself flies up, with a sleeping girl. That's how this movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you liked the retelling, put likes and subscribe, soon there will be a lot of videos on the channel. See you later.